What's up, everyone? It's Zavi Donabedian from Organic Health Movement, team member here at Awaken New Mexico, bringing you a quick video on who we are, what we do, and how we do it. We are the only licensed Czech practitioners here in Albuquerque, New Mexico that are able to employ holistic lifestyle coaching and corrective exercise specialty as prescribed by the Czech Institute with our clients. That's not to say that there won't be more Czech practitioners here in Albuquerque in the near future, but for now, we are the only Czech corrective exercise facility that is in operation. Now, in order to be a Czech facility, one must be trained with the Czech Institute. Now, the Czech Institute was founded by Paul Čech, a true master and a sage of corrective exercise. His teachings summate into the Czech Institute's Czech Academy and Holistic Lifestyle Coaching Czech Practitioner courses. Therefore, the Czech Institute represents and stands for the Corrective Holistic Exercise Kinesiology Institute. Now, my team members, Jamie Brokaw-Matchett, Randolph Brokaw, and Caroline Birch, we are all trained with the Czech Institute as corrective exercise specialists and holistic lifestyle coaches. Now, when a client walks in our door, we are trained with extensive physiological assessment and physical assessment to identify the etiology of imbalance in their body and design, from a holistic perspective, a holistic counseling and corrective exercise program that helps restore their body to optimal posture, optimal physiological function, such that their lifestyle is in harmony with their circadian rhythm, with their hormonal pathways, with the rise and fall of the sun, such that when they leave us and when they go on to do whatever they would like to do once they have achieved their dream and their goal, they can live and they can operate in the world from an effective, grounded, healthy, holistic manner and from a holistic foundation. Now, we are Czech practitioners by trade, and as I've mentioned, that means we're corrective exercise specialists, holistic lifestyle coaches, but that also means that we've graduated from the PPS Success Mastery System, which is an alchemical, spiritual tradition of teaching that Paul came up with and has implemented into his institute that teaches us to alchemize and to really master all of the principles of spirituality that we offer our clients. We know that you can't take a client to a place that you have not been yourself. Therefore, we all work diligently to master within ourselves the principles and foundations that we seek to offer to our clients in a holistic, heart-centered manner. Now, in any corrective exercise program that we implement with a client, we want to make sure that we have identified the one love of the client. That's the dream and the vision that they feel is worth changing for. Now, I like to take that one step deeper and say that it should be a one unconditional love, or we are driven by one unconditional love to nurture and love ourselves back to health and well-being. Now, from a cosmic perspective or a metaphysical perspective, we can say that unconditional love itself is that which we seek. However, I like to know, just in the unique physiology and the unique disposition of every client, what unconditionally loving energy did they want in their life, and in what way would they like it present? For some people, unconditional love is this feeling of joy and enthusiasm when they move their body in effective and new ways. For others, it's the one unconditional love of spending time with their children and feeling healthy. For others, that one unconditional love may just be the feeling of satisfaction and pride when they get through something that has been difficult, has presented obstacles for them. No matter what it is, we must identify the one love, the one unconditional love of every client so that their exercise and holistic lifestyle coaching program can progress and succeed in the ways in which they truly desire at their core. Now, there's a lot of emotional work. There's a lot of deep digging that is required in any Czech program. However, we are trained to help you on that journey. We are trained to help you realize your dream in the most effective and loving way possible. Now, we take a look at the four doctors, Dr. Quiet, Dr. Diet, Dr. Movement, and Dr. Happiness, to identify the etiology of imbalance in our lifestyle choices. In order to achieve homeostasis or proper health, we must balance the yin principles of Dr. Quiet and Dr. Diet with the yang principles of Dr. Movement and Dr. Happiness. Now, the two yin principles are represented by the parasympathetic nervous system, which is represented as the rest and digest function of the body, and Dr. Movement and Dr. Happiness are represented as the catabolic or the sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight energies of the body. Fight or flight is not bad. A lot of the emotions of enthusiasm, satisfaction, and fulfillment are associated with the sympathetic nervous system. However, generally speaking, in our Western culture, we're totally wigged out in the yang energy, in the doctor movement and doctor happiness, which suppresses on the other side the yin components of doctor quiet and doctor diet, which bring energy into the body. So our goal as Czech practitioners is through comprehensive assessment to identify which 4 doctors are in balance and which are not, and then take that information and integrate it into the exercise program that we create for you. Now, sometimes some people are so imbalanced that we don't start with exercise. We only start with lifestyle choices that could help decrease the physiological load and stress of the system that we're working with, and then later get into the corrective exercise once we've established a certain degree of homeostasis. Now, in order to balance the anabolic and the catabolic hormone pathways of the body, we must participate effectively in the organic closed cycle. Now, the organic closed cycle is the flow of soil, nutrients, and minerals into the plants, which are then eaten by the animals, and then we eat the animals. So we are a participant in that organic closed cycle. Now, any imbalance or any disruption in that cycle prevents us from operating at optimal efficiency and in a healthy, balanced way. That means if we deplete the soil, we don't farm organically and biodynamically, then we create imbalance in the soil, which ends up as imbalance and nutrient deficiency of the plants. Therefore, the animals are affected and their physiological systems are compromised. And therefore, if we eat the animals, then we are unable to integrate and assimilate the proper nutrients and the proper nutrient density that a healthy animal and a healthy plant system would provide. Therefore, in order to really balance the 4 doctors in our lifestyle, we must participate effectively by buying organic food, incorporating that high-density nutrition into our lifestyle, and using the time and energy that we commit to a corrective exercise program, and balance that with the energy that we put into the lifestyle choices we make. Our goal is to teach every client to master their own physiology. I refer to that as the integration of the inner child and the inner sage. There's a higher self, a higher wisdom that guides your journey, and then there's the inner child that is waking up into maturity and adulthood. Only when you balance those 2 forces within your being are you able to effectively participate in your dream or vision. The 6 foundation principles are represented by 3 yin principles and 3 yang principles. The 3 yin principles are sleep, nutrition, and hydration. Those all represent bringing energy into the body. Sleep is the chief physician of the body and is vital for us to be able to bring energy back into the body after expending it during the day. Without proper nutrition and nutrient density that we bring into our body, all our physiology, connective tissues, ligaments, so forth, they will suffer because they're not getting the input of nutrition and energy that they need. Likewise, if we eat a lot of processed foods, conventionally grown foods, those foods require more energy to run from mouth to anus than they actually provide to our enteric system. Therefore, we need to incorporate high-density nutrition to balance out some of the energy we need to bring into the body. Likewise, without proper hydration, we are unable to sustain our dream. 1% dehydration of the central nervous system can cause severe psychological distress, according to Dr. Batman Gilich. I highly recommend his book, Your Body's Many Cries for Water. From a yang perspective, we are reliant on thinking, breathing, and movement in order to live our dream. Without those aspects of inspiration and energy expenditure, then we are unable to effectively move into, physically and energetically move into, the lifestyle of our dreams. We need to think in a balanced way that provides inspiration and grounding. We need to breathe in an effective and diaphragmatic manner so that we're not creating postural imbalance, lateral sway, sagittal sway as a way of compensating for an inverted breathing pattern. And finally, we need to move effectively in all the ways in which nature would require us to survive, those being the 7 primal pattern movements that would allow us to survive in nature should we still have lived out in the cold and the heat, rather than inside in warm beds and at warm desks. So, during our corrective exercise program, we seek to identify through physical assessment the movement imbalances that are present in the body, the summation of the many different systems of the body, and correct those through our work with holistic lifestyle coaching and primal pattern movements. Now, lastly, I'd like to mention the check totem. We have to consider the check totem in every exercise program that we provide, because ideally, we balance all of these physiological systems so that change is everlasting and can really take hold and take root in one's life. Most PTs, physical therapists, or MDs only look at the slave joints or musculoskeletal imbalance and never at the systems that affect those aspects of the body. In the check totem, we see that the order of hierarchy goes from the psyche to respiration to mastication to vision to our auditory system to the upper cervical spine to the visceral system to the limbic emotional system, then to the pelvic girdle and the slave joints. Most exercise programs and most health practitioners only look at the slave joints and perhaps the pelvic girdle and the many other joints of the body and the muscles as a way of identifying what's going on in terms of imbalance.